Piper the Sailorman, Sailor the Piperman here this morning. Good morning. Coming to you from the island of Puerto Rico with a little bit of one of my favorite poets, folk singer, Mr. Gordon Lightfoot. I'm about to read Utopia by Sir Thomas More. Very interesting man. Who lived during the time of King Henry VIII. He was ultimately put to death because he didn't agree with what King Henry VIII did. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good Utopia. I'm gonna read about it right here. It says here, Sir Thomas More, one of the most influential books in the Western philosophical and literary tradition. Sir Thomas More's Utopia appeared in 1516. The formidable Henry VIII had recently assumed the throne of England, and conflicting ideas about religion were fueling the Reformation throughout Europe. A scathing satire, Utopia was hugely successful and vaulted More to the forefront of the growing humanist movement. What is humanist movement? Well, there was a one time when most of Europe had God in the center and everything revolved around God. The humanist movement was a movement with the scientific revolution in which man began to see itself the center of everything and God in the periphery. That's what we have today, the humanistic movement, where man thinks he's the center of the universe. So this book, the story of Utopia, is told by a mysterious sailor named Ralph Lode, who travels to the New World with the Italian explorer Americo Vespucci and remains at a fort built at the farthest point reached. From there he discovers a strange island kingdom named Utopia, a pagan and communist city-state in which language, social customs, dress, architecture, and education are identical throughout the country's 54 cities. The Utopians have eliminated wealth, the nobility, and currency. Sounds familiar? Labor and goods are distributed equally and property is held in common. And there are no monasteries, no ale houses, drinking bars, or academies to tempt a person to withdraw from society. Ultimately, Utopia navigates a course between the desire to create perfection and the pragmatic understanding that perfection, given the fallibility of humankind, is impossible. Sounds like a book written so long ago, yet so appropriate, because social engineers, this is what they want to do. Create a utopia in which everybody's equal. There are no religions. Everybody has to be part of the society. You just can't be like me, free will. I decide I don't want to be part of what's going on in America, and I came to this island. Well, they won't have that. I have to participate. And an equal footing with everybody else. Ultimately, Sir Thomas More disagreed, and he was loyal to a fault to the Catholic Church, and he attacked Luther's thesis. He was Catholic, he was an aesthetic. An aesthetic is that he wanted to be a priest, but he decided to go into law, very scholarly. And it says here at the end, let's read a little bit more. See, the world of Thomas More by date. This guy did his thorough job. It says here, in 1533, when Henry divorced Catherine of Spain and married Anne Boleyn, the Catholic Church excommunicated him. More does not attend Anne's coronation. Henry knew about that. Thomas More declines to support the Act of Succession, which means the next of kin takes the throne, which would legitimize Boleyn's children as heirs to the throne and reject the Pope as the head of the church. He was real Catholic. When he refuses to support Henry's claims to be supreme head of the English church, he is imprisoned in the Tower of London. He conducts correspondence and writes dialogue of comfort against tribulation. More is tried, convicted of treason at Westminster Hall. He is beheaded on July the 6th. His head is displayed on London Bridge, where it remains for a month until his family has removed and buried it in the family plot. Thomas More was beautified by Pope Leo and then was canonized by Pope Pius for being a martyr, for not giving up his faith and not falling to the divine rights of kings, which meant that the king was placed there by God and he had sole authority here on earth. He was against that. And he saw God as being preeminent above everything else. I'm like that too. God is above everything, above every form of government, whatever. And so maybe one day that might call for my head. Who knows? Maybe not. Nobody wants to deal with an old man. They'll probably say, oh, he's an old man, leave him alone, he's crazy, he believes in God. Well, Thomas More wrote about a time where they tried to create a utopian society, and that's what's been happening all along for thousands of years. The creation of Tower of Babel, Alexander the Great tried to create a society, world society, in which the Greek philosophy Hellenization was in place. America has tried to democratize or demonize the world, however you want to look at it. And so he had faults, but he held the church and he held God supreme above all monarchies. And I give him his respect, and I'm going to read about this society to see what I can get out of it and how I can relate to what's happening currently. Sometimes you got to go into these ancient books. Like the next book I'm going to read is 1984. and keep my mind busy at work, and I have a book to read with my pipe. Well, I'm smoking Q1, the K Woody Stanton. Have a good day. This is State of the Pipe, and my pipe is a sailor man. I'll let you know more about what's in the book later on. Smooth sailing.